Begin our practice today with noticing the inside of the nose as we breathe. And we're going to do this for a few minutes. So settle in, and as always, we begin with breath. Life began with breath, right? And just gently find your natural breath, your signature breath. Allow yourself to just simply breathe in and out. Maybe the eyes are gently closed or soft focused. And as the breathing moves in and out of the body, begin to notice the sensations in the nose. So breathing in, notice the temperature of the air as it moves in and out. Perhaps discerning if there's a difference between the temperature moving in and out. Allow the body to exhale slowly, smoothly, and completely. If the mind wants to talk to you about things, say yes, maybe later. Right now, I'm noticing my breath, and bring the attention back to the sensations of breath. Perhaps drawing the navel in toward the spine as we breathe would feel good. Or not, maybe not today. Or are we more aware of one nostril than the other as we breathe? And as we've let go of the to-do list, perhaps we might feel a little more spaciousness, maybe in the nose. And as we have attended our breath with our awareness, with our noticing, perhaps the jaw has softened. Perhaps the eyebrow, the space between the eyebrows has softened. We'll just sit with this breath work for another minute or so. I'll keep track of that. You just follow your breath. And tenderly, sweetly, allow the eyes to open, perhaps just more fully. So today, as we go through this practice of movement, most things will be on the chair today. As we go through this practice, we're going to be doing things that are familiar to most of us. And so the invitation as we do familiar practices is to pay attention to the breath. It's going to be less about the action and more about noticing the breath. So bringing the hands into clasp, we begin to circle the pelvis. And as we're doing this, and we find a rhythm and a pace in one direction that feels good, we tune into the breath moving in and out of the body, not changing anything, just noticing. And the next time we find ourselves back at center, we pause and switch directions. So gentle circles, warming up the pelvis and focusing on breath. And then the next time we find ourselves in the center, let's pause here. Check in with the breath. And I'm going to move into seated cat-cow. So we start by sliding the hands out to cup the knees. We draw the shoulder caps toward each other. We expand between the shoulder blades in the back. Chin comes toward the heart. We're going to breathe here, and if you'd like a little bit more traction, just press into the kneecaps and press backwards with the upper back. And we breathe here. And then as we rise up, moving to cow, we're going to slide the hands up to the top of the thighs. We press into the top of the thighs. As we lift the heart, expand the collarbones, the chin rises gently, not extremely and not too far. And we find a nice stretch all the way down the arc of our spine into our sacrum, and we breathe here. Let the jaw be soft. And then we're slowly going to rock forward, coming into our cat arch, and then coming back to cow. And now let's breathe with this. So as we slide our hands out, that's an out breath. Slide the hands up and press down, lifting the in breath. So following the rhythm and the pace of your natural breath, back and forth we go. And then the next time, we're coming back from our cow, we settle and we gather our breath. We gather our attention, our awareness, our noticing to our breath. Soft focus the eyes, or the eyes are closed. And we come back to noticing the breath moving in and out of the nose. Perhaps we notice the breath moving down the back of the throat. Perhaps we notice the lungs filling, the rib cage expanding. Perhaps we notice our belly moving in and out with our breath. Eyes gently open. And here we go. We're going to take our wonderful left hand. Ooh, look at that hand. And we're going to bring it across the body to rest on the outside of the thigh or the leg. The heart lifts. And then we're going to bring this hand behind the head. And we're just going to lift the elbow to the sky. Feel the stretch in the rib cage on the right side, and now breathe into the rib cage on the right side. So focus the breath there. This is a little different way to do a twist. And see if the breath can press between the muscles of the rib cage. Imagine that. And then we bring that elbow down, the hand comes down. We're going to cross the body now with the right hand coming to the outside of the left leg. Heart lifts here, hand comes to rest on the back of the head. And now we're lifting that right elbow toward the ceiling, any amount. And if the shoulder's a little buggy, don't go so high. Just pause where it works, because the focus again is the breath. And we're focusing the breath into the rib cage on this left side. And again, we come back to the noticing of the breath as we release the left arm. And we come back to center, sweeping the arms up, extend the sky, a little arch in the back, create that arc. And then on the out breath, fold forward, bringing the heart and the belly toward the lap. Any amount, the arms float down next to the calves. And then pressing into the feet, breathing in, we rise. And breathing out, we fold. And one more time, we rise. And hands come to heart center. Pressing the palms together. Nice pressure. The elbows aim to be on a level with each other. Breathe in. And on the out breath, turn the hands toward the belly. Breathe in. The hands come back to prayer center. And on the out breath, they rotate down. So the elbows are relatively stable here. We're moving our wrists and our hands. And we're noticing our breath. Relaxing, releasing. Come back to noticing breath. Let the shoulders soften down. Has your breath, your natural breath, altered since we began our practice? Perhaps it's deeper. Maybe not. Noticing the in-breath and the out-breath. Let's take ourselves into seated pigeon now. So we're going to start by drawing the left leg up, bringing the ankle above the knee, holding the heel and holding the knee. If this is not enjoyable today, that's where the block can come in handy. If you don't have a block and you don't want to lift the leg, just turn to the outer edge of the foot and let this knee fall open. If you have a block, you can rest on the outer edge of the foot and we'll have a very similar expression as if the foot was up on the knee. So we're using breath again. We breathe in, that's our center. And on the out breath, we fold. The in breath is a lift and the out breath is a fold. Now, follow your own breath. Take the cues from what your body says, this is how I want to do this today. And then the next time we're in a fold forward, we're going to pause and just allow ourselves to settle here with breath in and out. The foot's going to be flexed, whether it's resting on a block or on the knee. The toes are pressing back toward the kneecap. We're breathing, softening. This is pigeon in a chair. And this time when we rise up, we're going to hold onto the knee and the foot. And then we're going to circle in one direction. If your foot's on the block, just hold underneath the knee and circle in one direction. And then we switch the circle. And then we're going to hold the ankle or underneath the knee, and we're just going to shake the leg, shake the foot. Let the foot release. For some reason, this foot does not got a shake today, so that's okay. And then we're going to come back to the floor, pausing with our breath again and noticing sensation, right and left. And if we can bring our attention to the whole body, not just the part that we worked, really bringing attention and noticing how working one side of the body goes all the way up into the head, all the way, maybe even beyond the head. We're going to switch sides now. So the block is always an option. Drawing this foot up, flexed foot, holding the knee. Breathe in, and on the out breath, we fold. Going back and forth now, following your own rhythm of breath. And the next fold is going to be where we pause and breathe in and out. Notice that beautiful breath. And the next time we come up, we're going to lift that leg and we're going to circle that hip joint in one direction, or you're holding behind the leg and circling the hip joint. Then switch directions. And then we're going to shake the foot or shake the whole leg, depending on how high your leg is, how high your foot is. There we go. And then we come back to the floor. Taking the heart and the belly again toward the lap. Hands are coming next to the legs. We're going to press into the heels to rise up. So let's come on up to standing. So we did a lot of forward folding. So let's stretch the psoas. Let's get into the hip flexors. So the hands come in to rest in our back pockets or pretend back pockets. We press the pelvis forward. There's a little arch in the back, but it's more about getting the pelvis pressing forward. Breathe here. Find your breath. Focus on the breath. And now we're going to take that left side of the pelvis forward. So there's a little softness in the knees here. And we're turning to look over the right shoulder. Breathe here and do about 3 breaths here. Really noticing the breath. And then slowly, gently returning to center. Pause here for 3 breaths. And now we're going to take that right hip forward. Soft knees. Pressing in toward the hip flexors. So right in here where the thigh meets the groin. Look over the left shoulder or toward the left. And then gently coming back to center. Press the pelvis forward again. And then we come to standing. Shake it out. Let's find our way back to our chair. Sitting a little bit forward on the chair, so the spine is nice and long. The jaw soft, the eyes closed or soft focus. We come back to noticing the breath. We'll be here for a few minutes just watching our breath as it moves in and out of our bodies. Breathing in, I calm body and mind. Breathing out, I smile. Dwelling in the present moment, I know this is the only moment. Thich Nhat Hanh. And we open our arms wide. We're going to gather all the blessings that already exist, and we draw them in appreciation and gratitude into our hearts. And together, we all say, Namaste.